Hey guys, it's Tony and we're back on the bench. And this morning, I wanted to do a little tutorial video here on a classic pen reel that a lot of us are very familiar with. So we're going to talk about the Penn Jigmaster, specifically the 500 model. And, we want to talk a little bit about the Jigmaster series. The Jigmasters were first offered in 1959 by Penn, and they've lasted all the way up to the current day today. They're still in manufacturing today. So they're a very popular model, very popular reel. And, the Jigmaster series had a couple of different models, down the road after the 500 was offered. They eventually did the 500S, which was similar to these reels. The frame construction was a little different, and I think they offered them with like red aluminum spools and also metal spools. But they were essentially the same reel. And then after that, the 501, I believe, was released, which was a narrower version of the 500, and just a narrower spool and body, but the overall reel was still the same in terms of like the side plates and the gear set and all that kind of stuff, drag stack. And then after that, they did the 505s, which were like the hot rodded versions of these reels, where they had ball bearings on both sides. I think they hopped up the gear ratio a little higher. So very popular models for a long time, but the 500 specifically has been around the longest and is still out there. So we want to just talk a little bit about some of the features of the reel and why it is so iconic and popular and why it's still being made today. All right, so here we're looking at the first generation of the Jigmaster, and you can tell because it's got this silver sticker stamp on here, and it just says Penn number 500, made in USA, Jigmaster. Okay, simple. All right, darker maroon side plates, darker maroon plastic spool. These were offered also with metal spools. This reel's been restored, actually. It needed some new frame posts and reel seat and stuff like that. It had a lot of pitting damage and whatnot, but it's a great specimen of what this generation of the reel should look like. Okay, and just to talk about the features, of the reel. Well, one of the biggest features was that it was a take apart design. All right, so you had the thumb screw down here, and you could back that off. Okay, and this was very popular amongst surf fishermen, especially, right? If you're working the surf, you could disengage your whole handle side here, and you could swap out your spool, so you could carry multiple spools. And a lot of these were sold with two spools. They'd be sold with like a plastic spool and a metal spool. I think there were some that were actually sold with two plastic spools. That was one thing that made this reel very, very popular. Another popular feature of the reel was it was a high-speed gear set, in opposed to like a Surf Master, where it's a smaller gear, so you get a smaller gear ratio, but with a bigger gear set, you get a bigger drag stack. Okay, so you could work those lures and jigs a lot quicker and easier with that high speed package, basically. Okay, so that was another reason why this was so popular. Not to mention that they used really good components in here, good metals and stuff. All these nickel plated pieces in here, to stay rust free, basically. So it definitely has its features, and those are some of the main reasons why this has been such a popular model. Okay, large torpedo handle here, and this is kind of an oversized version of what you would find on like a Squidder or like a Surfmaster 200. So, that's, another, popular feature is line capacity. Okay, you could get a lot of line, on this reel and not have to worry about running out. Okay, so that's the first generation. I think they only did this one for about a year with that sticker. I don't recall. I'd have to go back and do some more homework on that one, but these stickers did not last long, and then eventually what they did is they went over to making, these engraved, stamps like, we would typically see on a lot of pen reels, that kind of look. So this reel here, it's the same reel, but they did do some changes compared to this one. On this side plate, there's absolutely nothing. It's just a blank face plate. On this one, they actually added Penn Jigmaster 500, made in Philadelphia, PA, USA, Penn Fishing Tackle Manufacturing. And then of course the stamped Penn Jigmaster on that side. Okay. Outside of, those things and just the color and everything of the spool and the side plates, this reel does have some different frame posts here. I want to date this reel probably somewhere in the early 70s. I want to say, I don't recall when they brought these frame posts into the equation, but I want to say probably early 70s is probably a good dating for this reel, more or less. But, outside of that, gear set's the same, drag stack's the same, bushings on both sides, take apart design is all the same. Okay. So, there wasn't really any, big design changes is the whole point, so, that essentially means that the design works and, it continued to be popular. Okay. And then last but not least, we're looking at this Jigmaster here. Okay, so this is a newer generation one. Probably, I want to say from the maybe early 2000s, maybe around 2005 or 6. I can't really remember. But, design-wise, it's really not that much different. Unfortunately, this is when they made the switch over to manufacturing these overseas in China, and you can definitely tell the difference in the quality of the parts and stuff. The construction is the same, and the way it goes together is all the same, but you can see that there's definitely a quality difference that is not here that was in these reels here. So and it just says Penn 500. There's nothing on here that indicates where it's made, and that's usually a sign that it's made elsewhere outside of the USA. So but outside of that, it's basically the same. We've got a rubberized handle on here. Okay, this reel is actually due for a service, and so this is going to be coming up on the bench here shortly, and we're going to clean this reel up and get it ready to go back out and hopefully do some fishing. But you can actually tell there's actually a slight bend in this handle here. It's kind of slight, but it is there, and that's unfortunate. But same design in here. There's really nothing different going on there. So but the quality of like that spring, for instance, these springs are not as strong as the ones that would be in these reels here. So, but it is a tool in the workbox, and it's that's, if you look here to where that thumb screw was, there's actually some threads that are starting to kind of come off there a little bit. You can kind of see them, because these metals are thinner metals. They're cheaper metals compared to these. So, but it's overall a staple in the saltwater fishing industry, and there's a lot of folks out there, they love using these reels, including myself. And I've had these for quite a while now, and this was kind of my go-to for a long time, and it's never really let me down. So but that's just kind of a basic tutorial on this model reel, and I hope you found that helpful and informative. So thanks again for watching. This is Tony with Back on the Bench. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please make sure you do subscribe and hit the notification button. That way you will get all the updates as to when I have new videos being posted. And there'll be quite a few of them coming out shortly, so stay tuned for those, and we'll see you next time.